We have now been living in Milwaukee for about 6 months, so I feel like it's a good time to talk about our 5 top tips to know before living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 1, and most important I think, is find a location that suits you best to live. There's lots of really cool neighborhoods in Milwaukee that are really close to a lot of different things that are fun. There's Lake Michigan, there's downtown, there's the 3rd Ward, and many others. So finding somewhere that is really good for things to do, like within walking distance or even driving distance, but also that is in your price range, is key. For example, Michelle and I really like being close to downtown because we just like that atmosphere, and like the gym is within walking distance. We're also within walking distance of the lake, which is really cool. But we live in Yankee Hill, and that and Lower East Side I feel like are pretty synonymous here in Milwaukee, and they're a little pricey, but also kind of modest. We pay $850 for a 1-bedroom. If you're in a nicer place, it's going to be more, but it's not quite as expensive as the 3rd Ward or downtown. But it's also not as cheap as somewhere like River West or the Upper East Side. And all these places offer potential of places to live. Where we live in closer to downtown in the 3rd Ward, there's more apartment buildings versus houses. If you get into River West or the Upper East Side, there's more houses. So if you prefer a house, I would recommend living in like River West, for example. It's still pretty close to downtown. There's also other neighborhoods that we're not quite as familiar with, like Bayview and South Milwaukee, Walker's Point, West Milwaukee, things like that, that could be beneficial for you potentially.
One thing that would be cool to check out is if you happen to be close to a hop stop, because in the winter it can let you get to places a lot easier and it's free.
Number 2, there are a ton of great food places and breweries and bars in Milwaukee, so try them out. Wisconsin is known a lot for beer, cheese, and brats, and they have a lot of great places where you can get each of those things. The other day we went to Good City Brewing, which was a really cool brewery.
Yeah, it was really good and the prices were very reasonable. I can't wait to try out the downtown location.
One brewery we haven't tried out that we really want to is Lakefront Brewery, which looks really cool from the outside. It's right on the Milwaukee River. As for food, there's this cheese mart that's pretty downtown. It's right by the Pfizer Forum, the Buck Stadium. And normally they have a lot of cheese samples and really good cheeses, so you can try them too though. So good, so good. Some restaurants that we've ate at and really enjoyed are Pizza Man and Fusion Pokey and Simple Cafe. Since we DoorDash also, we see a lot of other cool restaurants. One that comes to mind for me that looks really cool on the inside is Artisan Ramen. It has a bunch of Star Wars wallpaper in there.
I really want to try Cream City Cookery and I.
Both of those are downtown as well. Basically, there's a ton of great food and drink places in Milwaukee to check out, and like we didn't even scratch the surface with this discussion. Number 3, go by Lake Michigan as much as you can, especially when it's nice out. Lake Michigan is beautiful, it's huge, and it's really accessible. There's beaches like Bradford Beach, which is extremely popular, and Veterans Park, which is a really popular park. We've had picnics there, we've done just walking around there, we've done workouts there. There's so much to do and so much to see near the lake. As it's gotten closer to winter though, it's been harder to get ourselves to go to the lake because it's colder, so it's just not as enjoyable. So when it's nice out, try to go there as much as you can because it's worth it. Number 4, parking. If you have a house that includes parking, then that's great for you. But if you don't, you might have to find street parking or a parking lot. And parking lots can get kind of expensive. There is plenty of street parking near us, However, when there's signs that say 2-hour parking or 1-hour parking or something like that, to park there more than that amount of time, you have to get a pass from the city. And to do that, you have to be a resident of Wisconsin. And I think only one person from your household can get that pass. So it makes it challenging for different kinds of people. Also in winter, there's alternate side parking, which basically eliminates one side of the street every single night. That's gonna be a problem. We haven't been here during winter yet, but we're already bracing for that and considering getting a parking lot pass just because of that specifically. There are some streets that don't have the 2-hour parking or parking restrictions necessarily, besides alternate side parking. And there's some near us in Yankee Hill, and there's probably some in Lower East Side and River West and different places like that. But once you're downtown in 3rd Ward area, parking is going to be tough down there. You're probably going to have to get a parking lot pass just because most of the spots on the street are metered. Number 5, the last one, be open-minded. You're never going to know where connections are going to be formed, and if you're closed-minded about things, you're probably not going to have those connections. You're probably not going to experience things that you would have otherwise experienced. So be extremely open-minded, say yes to different activities, do different things, try new things, try new experiences. Well, there's 5 tips to consider before you move to Milwaukee.